Every job interview has one question with only one right answer. Simple stuff like if you're a lifeguard, can you swim? If you're a pilot, it's you know how all these buttons and things work? And if you are the Attorney General of the United States, it's will you follow the law even when your boss is mad at it? Todd Blanche, newly confirmed Attorney General of the United States, made it very clear exactly where he stands on Sunday. Todd Blanche, Trump's own personal criminal defense attorney, the man who sat next to him at that hush money trial, confirmed earlier this month as the Attorney General of the United States, went on Meet the Press on Sunday. And Kristen Welker opened up with the layup of all layups, the easiest question you can ask. Can you pledge that the Justice Department will always act independently of the White House?
In your address to the Justice Department staff this week, you said you and DOJ will, quote, uphold the law without fear or favor. You, of course, used to be President Trump's former personal defense attorney. Can you pledge that the Justice Department will always act independently of the White House?
Well, there's a big difference between saying we will always do our job and investigate any case and act independently of the White House. No, I'm not going to pledge that. And no attorney general should ever pledge that.
No, I'm not going to pledge that. And no attorney general should ever pledge that? Look, to quote a great film, whatever you've just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. And look, let's take what we can get, right? Because look, he is Trump's personal defense attorney, and he's being honest for once. Because Blanche, asked if he was independent, said no. So I guess in a way, that's a refreshing answer. I mean, it's horrifying, but in a refreshing way, maybe? No, this dude just sucks. And, you gotta remember his oath, his promise that he took just a few days ago. That promise to our country was to uphold the law without fear or favor. The actual words there, without fear or favor. And I mean, look, if you're talking about Donald Trump, he certainly will have no fear, and he doesn't even have to ask for the favor when Todd Blanche is his personal legal shield. Blanche, of course, he wasn't done because he was asked whether Trump should have a voice in individual prosecutions. Who gets charged? Who gets investigated? Blanche said, yes, of course. Again, he's giving us honesty. Corrupt? Immoral? Unconstitutional? Yeah, all likely, but at least he was honest. Hell, if you're telling the truth, Mr. Blanche, please continue.
And there again, there is this extraordinarily false narrative that the president wakes up in the morning and calls me and says, Todd, go prosecute X or Y. He does not do that.
Meanwhile, back here in the observable universe, Blanche's predecessor saw things like this coming from our president. Yes, the infamous justice must be served now post. Independent. Meanwhile, this DOJ has gone after people like James Comey over the photo of seashells that spelled out 8647 on a beach. It went after the New York Attorney General Letitia James because Donald Trump just doesn't like her and publicly demanded that the DOJ go after her. Trump had that reflecting pool vandalism case brought by fangirl Jeanine Pirro, who upon finding no evidence of vandalism and dropping the case, got berated by Donald Trump, who still claims that vigilantes with blades were responsible for rushing a bad paint job somehow. So yes, even though the DOJ and Supreme Court have given Trump more power over these alleged independent executive agencies, they still do all fall under the executive branch. So I've got a question for you. Should the DOJ independence and the independence of other such agencies be written into actual law? Or are we doomed to see that any law is only as strong as the people that are willing to enforce it? And of course, we already know how Blanche is going to handle things. The IRS will probably never again audit Trump, his family's, or his businesses, ever. And even though he put in writing that $1.776 billion fund is dead, he still thinks the January 6thers could successfully sue the government. You know, the government that they tried to overthrow, and get paid for it. Add that to all of the shady crap that surrounds Blanche's control of the Epstein files, and you can see that not much has changed from when he worked as Trump's personal defense attorney. And remember, we can't let any of these Republican senators off the hook here because they watched all of this and they confirmed him anyway. Sure, narrowly, nervously, but they did it. They did it out of fear and favor to the president. And that's why I'm going to ask that you subscribe to the Ring of Fire, because when the DOJ cannot be trusted, we are going to call them out every single time. And if you really support our mission, please consider becoming a member.